MSNBC just dropped a new twist in the Epstein scandal, and yet another reason why Donald Trump should be running for cover. And this one could cause him just as much legal jeopardy, and without the Department of Justice even releasing the Epstein Files. Welcome to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish. With Congress back in session, the specter of Jeffrey Epstein continues to haunt Donald Trump. I picture his ghost looking a lot like Jacob Marley in A Christmas Carol, all covered in chains and lockboxes, though I'm not exactly sure what Jeffrey Epstein would be chained to. Ugh. In any case, whether or not his ghost appears to President Taco in the night, it certainly is popping up in Congress, with the release of a now infamous birthday letter. Trump claims not to have written it, but evidence suggests otherwise.
And right now, the White House is denying President Trump wrote a letter to Jeffrey Epstein for his 50th birthday. House lawmakers released a document yesterday, purportedly signed by President Trump. The note was first reported by the Wall Street Journal in July. At the time, the president described it as fake, and he's now suing the outlet. Last night on The Takeout, Nancy Cordes spoke to an author of a book about Epstein to get his take on whether or not it's authentic.
Donald Trump's signature, it should be noted, has changed over the years. This was back in 2003. The next year, he went on The Apprentice. He wrote a few books. He was signing a lot of books at that time, and his signature changed. But this signature matches up to his handwriting at the time, circa 2003. So it does look legitimate to me. But if this lawsuit continues, of course, there'll be great scrutiny from forensic handwriting experts and lawyers over whether or not this signature is in fact true.
CBS News Justice correspondent Scott MacFarlane joins us now from outside of our D.C. bureau with more on this. Good morning, Scott. So help our viewers understand, what is inside this alleged letter from President Trump when he was a private citizen, and how is the White House explaining all of it?
Beginning with the caveat, Errol, that the White House has repeatedly denied he is the author of this message or that he sketched or signed this message. The message is apparently in the shape of an outline of a naked woman and includes a reference to a wonderful secret.
No amount of squabbling over Trump's signature is going to save him from this next bombshell. Stay with me. And for the record, can I just point out who really should be mad about this birthday card fiasco? Trump's children. As it turns out, their dad can send a birthday card when he feels like it. Think about that. Moving on. Trump's denial of sending the letter to Epstein has divided Republicans in Congress. Some, like House Speaker Mike Tiny Johnson, maintain that the letter is fake, or at the very least, not signed by Trump himself. Ironically, one of Trump's biggest fans, Marjorie Taylor Greene, did this yesterday. Well, I never thought I would say this, but good for you, Madge. She even managed to troll Trump without saying a word. She should try that more often. Amid the letter debate, Bloomberg reporter Tim O'Brien stopped by MSNBC last night to share some of his own personal knowledge of the Trump-Epstein relationship and the other dark secret Trump doesn't want coming out. Take a look.
Tim O'Brien, I agree with Tim Miller that there's no point in treating this like a calligraphy competition. That is beyond the point here. And you have been the one from the beginning who has said to us, follow the money. The likelihood is that that is actually going to lead you to crimes. We know that members of the House Oversight Committee, at least their staff, are going to get access to some elements of the Epstein estate. They're going to be able to see documents unredacted. What would you have them look for? Well, they should look for tax shelters. You know, it's interesting that this whole investigation is running apace with the Trump administration getting the IRS to turn its back on patently obvious abusive tax shelters used by corporations and wealthy people. That was one of the services Jeffrey Epstein provided to his clients. He engineered tax shelters for them. Leon Black and others have said that's what they were grateful to him for. This issue of whether or not this is his signature is a total distraction. The issue is whether or not he had a relationship with Epstein, and the letter establishes that. The Wall Street Journal, when they first covered this, didn't say it was necessarily his signature. They simply said he sent the letter to Epstein. And so why did he have a relationship with Epstein, and why isn't he willing to become more transparent and bring more things out in the open about why that relationship continued to exist? Trump told me himself in Palm Beach
that they were good friends. He took me on the tour of a house in Palm Beach that he won in a bidding war against Jeffrey Epstein, but told me in 2005, we're still friends. He's mad he lost the bidding war, but we're still friends. I suspect the biggest thing that what Trump is afraid of in all of this is our financial shell games and services that Epstein provided for Trump that Trump doesn't want to get out into the wild.
So there you have it. In case you doubted Trump fearing something in the Epstein Files, something that does not, as Michael Wolff has long asserted, connect him to Epstein's sex trafficking, there's the matter of tax evasion that Epstein helped Trump perpetuate. And chances are, since the FBI would have seized Epstein's own financial records, including his personal ledgers, the Department of Justice is likely in possession of proof of Trump and Epstein's shared financial crimes. It's also not hard to imagine why those haven't come to light yet. Prosecutors were not investigating financial crimes, they were investigating sex crimes. In other words, they could have built a case of financial crimes against Epstein, but that would have likely entailed a much bigger web of criminals and required a different set of resources to do so. Thus, the giant slumbers as the clock ticks down and the Epstein Files Transparency Act comes closer and closer to a vote in the House. And it may not even take the release of the Department of Justice files to implicate Trump. Just like this birthday letter, the Epstein estate could hold the smoking gun. We'll keep you updated as more new information continues to surface. This is Occupy Democrats.